Hi everyone. So this is the first algebra video. I actually recorded 2 videos before this, but my audio was off. So basically, someone sent me this question and we need to solve for x divided by y, okay? And what we're given is x over y plus y over x is equal to 17 over 4, okay? And so when you get questions like this, what I want you to do is it's usually going to be the last question in question 1, okay? Try simplify things as much as possible, okay? So if you see fractions, try not work with fractions. If you see decimals, convert it into fractions and then try to get rid of the fractions. If you see, like things that you can potentially simplify, try simplify it, okay? So in this case, we're actually going to get rid of all the denominators. So for the first denominator, we're going to multiply every term by y. So we end up with x over x plus y squared over x is equal to 17 over 4y. Okay, then for the next denominator, we're going to multiply everything by x. So we end up with x squared plus y squared is equal to 17 over 4xy. Now for the last denominator, we multiply everything by 4. And so this is what we are now left with. Okay, 4y squared is equal to 17xy. Now we're going to take the 17xy to the other side. And so we are then left with 4x squared minus 17xy. Plus 4y squared is equal to 0. Okay, now in this case, you can either choose to solve for y or for x. I'm going to choose to solve for x just because it's more familiar. And so what we're going to use is we're going to use the quadratic formula. So our 4 is going to be the a, our minus 17y is going to be our b value, and for our c value, we're going to have 4y squared, okay? So x is therefore going to be equal to negative 17y plus minus the square root of negative 17y squared minus 4 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 4y squared, okay? Now, all of that is going to be the numerator, and then your denominator is going to be 2 times 4. Okay, so now I'm just going to do a bit of simplification, which leaves us with 17y plus minus, over here we end up with 289y squared minus 64y squared. Okay, and we actually are going to simplify that in another step. All of that divided by 8. Okay, so x is therefore going to be equal to 17y plus minus the square root of 255y squared, which again simplifies. All of that divided by 8. X is therefore going to be equal to 17y plus minus 15y over 8. Okay, so now we have these like terms, and so we end up with x is equal to 17y plus 15y over 8, or x is equal to 17y minus 15y over 8. Okay, and now if we were to simplify to get our actual values, what we are left with is 4y, or x is equal to y over 4. Okay, so what you'll notice is if you solve this for y, you'll actually end up with y is equal to 4x, or y is equal to x over 4. Okay, pretty interestingly. We're not actually going to work with our y values, but I'll just leave them there just so that I can show you that we could solve it with that. Okay, then from there, our x over y, which is the actual question, to get your 2 values for x and y, or x divided by y, would be our x value, which we solved for, to be 4y, and then y is just y, which gives us a value of 4. Or we would have x over y is going to be equal to y over 4 divided by y, right? Because obviously, yeah, this divided by y. Okay, that leaves us with x over y is going to be equal to y over 4 times 1 over y. So the y's are going to cancel, and we're left with a quarter. Okay, so your values are x over y is equal to 4 or 1 over 4. Okay, so that's your final answer. And then just to show you that you could have solved with y, is here your x over y. In this case, you wouldn't have your x value, but you would have your y value, which would be these up here. Okay, and so you'd have x over 4x. Sorry, x over 4x, which would give you a quarter, which is what we have here. And then your second answer would be x over y is going to be equal to your next y value there would be x, divide that by x over 4. So again, you're going to flip and multiply, and you are then left with x times by 4 over x. Your x's are going to cancel, and you're left with a value of 4, which is what we have here. So 2 ways to solve it. If you were to solve it for y, you would treat this here as your starting point for using the different method, and you would also use your quadratic formula. Just in this case, you'd be solving for y instead of x, and so your a value would then be 4. Sorry, your a value would be 4, your b value would be the same, but well, it would be negative 17x, so that would be your a value, and then your c value would be this whole 4x squared.